The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short GoldMine presentations, giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. And in this session, I'm going to cover a simple way of managing duplicate records. So, good morning. My name is Tim Wilmot, and my company, Wizard Systems, we're a specialist CRM system supplier who help out mainly small, mid-sized organizations improve their sales, productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of solutions like GoldMine. Now, this presentation will be fairly short, about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour or so, just an overview of this simple way of managing duplicate records. There are other options which I will explain, and we have covered those before on previous 101 sessions and may well cover again on future training sessions. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions around this topic, please pop those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Probably best to type them in as you think of them. And also at the end, I'll be giving you an update on GoldMine product news as of October 2020. So this call is being recorded as well. After the presentation, you will get an email with a link to recording that you can play back when you want to, and it will feature up on our YouTube channel as well, where you will see well over 100 other training videos around different aspects of GoldMine. Quick mention about Wizard Systems. We are a leading supplier of CRM solutions like GoldMine. We've been working with the GoldMine product for a long time now. We've got well over 3,000 implementations under our belt, and we provide any kind of service around GoldMine, the product, upgrades, training, implementation, and tech support as well. So the session topic is managing duplicate records. Let me pop into a GoldMine system. So an example GoldMine record, maybe in searching for contacts. So you double click, as you know, on certain fields. You then are displayed the contact search center. So where you then see a duplicate, as I've got here, this is where I'm going to show to you a simple way that you can merge duplicate records together. So here we have an example of two records that at first sight look as if they're obvious duplicate records. In my contact search center, of course, through the columns option, you can display or you can define what columns you see in this summary view. But plainly here, I can see that there was one record that was created quite some time ago, and then one record created today. Maybe, well, it's obviously got some missing information. Maybe it's an erroneous record. It needs to be merged or deleted or whatever with that primary record. So, of course, to prevent all this happening, and we have covered this on future sessions, when you and your users create a new record, be observant of this duplicate checking section here. This will help you weed out any obvious duplicates. So a match of company and contact name is a default one, but also you can then say, well, whether you want the primary phone number one is deemed by GoldMine as the sort of primary phone number of a contact record. So you can uncheck that off or on as you wish. And obviously email address would be another obvious way of detecting a duplicate record. But here we have an example of two obvious duplicate records here. And in fact, I could just double click on that one and we can see that there's lots of blanks here, maybe an incorrect spelling of this person's surname and incomplete company name as well. So what can we do with those two records? Well, we could, of course, delete the offending record. But if someone had inadvertently added some notes to this new record, so this one here that was created today, what happens if somebody had typed in information about a phone call or typed in some additional notes or attached a document to this record? There's some other related information against our record. Deleting it, by default, deleting it is going to delete everything on that record. When you delete a record, if you have that capability to do that, look at all those checkboxes. It's going to zap everything, and you might lose some vital information of a new activity. So far better to use GoldMine's inclusive merge purge of tagged records. So you may be familiar with the tagging of records in GoldMine for different purposes, maybe creating a group, doing some kind of a mailing exercise with them, and so on. So in the Contact Search Center, you can click on these checkboxes, and that will merge, that will tag those records. Now, the important thing here, let me just uncheck those. The important thing here is in this merge tagged records process, the first record I tag is going to be the primary record. That's going to be the record that we're going to save, and the other information is going to be merged to it. Okay, so be very clear that maybe on the record that was created first, or the record that was last updated, whatever your criteria, you need to maybe browse and look through both records to see which record do I want to maintain. Because if both records have got a job title, well, the primary record, that's the job title we're going to save. In this merge process, though, if there's missing fields in either of those records, they're going to be merged together. So if one record has a phone number and the other record has a job title, the merged record will have the combination of the two. We're going to have the phone number and the job title. Okay, so it's a very clever thing within GoldMine, and not many other CRM systems have this capability and a more advanced way of managing duplicate records as well. I'll come on to that in a minute. So back to me tagging these records. Okay, so first record I tagged there is my to be saved record, and I got to tools and data management. There's a bit of a journey here. Merge purge records there. There's the full Monty way of merging records with the wizard, but I want to select this one here. Merge tag. There's also merge open records. If you've got a lot of records open on your window, which you can do, you can merge those as well. But this is the normal one. I tagged those records. I want to merge them. Bit of a warning here. You will get this every single time. You are about to do something that can't be retrieved, and there are some other warnings as well. So you've got to be aware of what this is going to do to your system. There's no edit undo. If you do this, that is it. That other record will be removed. So do you wish to merge all tagged records? Yes, I do. And I will end up with just one record in the system. There it is there. And the other information would have been added to it. If it was an additional contact, well, there's the additional contact record there being added, if it was a slightly different name. But it's going to merge in all of the missing field information so you get one good record rather than two half good records, if you see what I mean. So that is the merge tag records. Now we will be covering the more extensive comprehensive way of managing duplicate records across multiple records in your database. And that's the very clever part in GoldMine called merge, let me get to it, merge purge records wizard. Bit of a mouthful, but that will take me step by step through a way of grouping multiple records, or maybe the whole database. Maybe I want to do this whole database, and then defining a comparison criteria. How will GoldMine detect two duplicate records together? And it will then either merge them, excuse me, or it could tag a record for future inspection or dealing with. And you could actually populate a field with some kind of value so that you could then scroll through those and see what you want to do with them. Or it could just simply give you a count of the number of records, but a really more extensive capability of full belt and braces way of going through duplicate records. And duplicate records can occur, and if right now during the pandemic you're working at different locations and you're not able to shout across the room, has so and so got this record in GoldMine, maybe in the current time these duplicate records are more likely to occur. So prevention is better than cure. Do a search of those duplicate records first of all. Make sure that to your best knowledge that the duplicate record doesn't exist. Be vigilant about on the duplicate checking section of your new record form that you've checked those boxes, and observe any messages. If GoldMine will warn you instantly if you do have a duplicate record, and it will take you to that record so that you can stop entering in the potential duplicate, and you can then review the record that you've got there already. Or this feature here that we're showing in this session, the merge tagged records. Okay, so that's it, me done on the simple way of merging records, as we normally do on our weekly session. If you've got any questions around this feature, or indeed anything about GoldMine as our weekly get together, please pop that into the question section. I'll do my best to answer those. So question from Sandra, can you tag 3 records at a go? Yes, you can. Yeah, if you've done a search and you can find 3 records on your contact search center, your contact search window, and there are 3 obvious duplicates, yeah, you could tag those 3 records and go through the same process. Next question from Darren, can you restrict access to the merge purge feature? Yes, you can. As with all options in GoldMine, you can remove that from the menu so people can't access that capability. Very good point. As I was explaining, there's no edit undo. You could do, if someone didn't know what the merge purge wizard was doing, not necessarily this tag record, it's quite a simple way of managing duplicate records, but the merge purge wizard, you could do a lot of damage there. So you need to be familiar with what it does, consult the help resources in GoldMine, or even better still, consult with assistants for maybe a little bit of training so we can take you through all of the ins and outs of the merge purge wizard. But yeah, you could do a lot of damage there. So you want to make sure that's removed from people's capabilities. Okay, don't think there's any more questions coming through. Let me just double check. Nope. Okie dokie. Right. Latest news. Well, we're still in lockdown. Okay. Question from go back to question David. That question came through. I'm not sure if I missed it. Question from David. How do I choose which record to keep out of a list? Well, that would be, if you're using the merge purge wizard, that would be an exclusion condition in the filter, or by just not tagging the record. Or if you have tagged all records, just untag the one to remove that record from that list. So it would be, normally, David, it would be a filter. You would say, I want to search for all these records that have this criteria, but I don't want any that have this value, or that equal XYZ, for example. That's the way of excluding it. Right, so we're in sort of semi-lockdown in the UK. I assume most people watching live are in the UK, and all our training is online. We have opened our training center to training courses. We are doing that in a limited way. We had a training course last week at our offices with only 4 people there. We were all socially distanced, and our trainer had a facial visor as well. So we're all very secure in office. But to be honest with you, most of our training is done online. So if you want any kind of training, you've got any new starters or want to get to the next level with GoldMine, please contact us. Now, the latest release of GoldMine 2020.1, there's been a few hot fixes of late. A few little discrepancies have crept in. So if you are contemplating an upgrade to 2020.1, just hold off for a week or two. There is, last night, this slide's a bit out of date. Last night, there was a new hot fix. So we get these major versions coming out. The latest one is 2020.1. And then within the version, we get hot fixes. And they may come out once a month, once every 2 months. But there's been a few in the last couple of weeks. There was one last night. So I would say if you're on 2019 or an older release, just hang fire for a week or two until we announce that it is A-OK to go forward. So just be a little bit careful. Always consult Wizard Systems. If you've got any question about upgrading GoldMine or a brand new release comes out, shall I upgrade? Yes or no? Please consult any of us at Wizard Systems. We're here to help you. We don't want you to inverted go into something that may not be fully tested in your environment. So just check with us on the correct process and procedure there. There are offers on maintenance. So if you the only way of getting an upgrade for GoldMine is to be on an annual maintenance contract. Normally they're every year or so. They can be every 2 years. But contact us for details on that. There are some deals to be had if you've been off maintenance for some time to get you current on the latest release. Okay, that's me done then for this week's session. Please, we'll meet up again this time next week for another GoldMine topic. There's our contact details. Thanks for listening, those watching live, or if you're watching a recording, thanks very much indeed. We'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.